Hey y'all, Rick Sky here, and welcome back to another Timepieces for Tomorrow video. Appreciate your viewership and all of your questions and comments. And actually, this video, I'm going to respond to Aaron. And Aaron was asking, I don't want to misquote him, I've got it across the screen over there, but he wanted to see a better side-by-side comparison of the Tudor Black Bay Chrono and the Rolex Submariner, in this case, the 114060. So without further ado, let's go ahead and look at these two timepieces side by side. So, obviously, a lot of people want to know the size. The Tudor Black Bay Chrono, whether it's the inverted Panda or the Panda, they're very hard to come by right now. So, being able to see these in the flesh is a rarity, and that's what I'm here to do on Timepieces for Tomorrow. So, this obviously is the Tudor Panda, and then this right here is the Rolex Submariner 114060. The Panda is a 41 millimeter case. This Rolex 114060 is a 40 millimeter case. But we're going to look at a lot of things. We're going to look at the side profile of these, and I know, Aaron, that's what you want to see, but I'm going to dive right into a lot more depth. So here's the Submariner in my left hand, and then here's the Tudor Black Bay Chrono in my right hand. So you can see that case profile is, people have made a big deal about it. They're like, man, it's just the Tudor Black Bay Chrono is a chunky monkey, man. It's too tall. I don't think it is. And actually, before I had it in my hands, I was thinking, man, I wish they would release a Tudor Chrono Black Bay 58, a Tudor Black Bay 58 Chrono, 39 mil size. But after getting this Tudor Chrono in 41 mil, I actually wouldn't want it smaller. I like the way this chronograph wears and looks. Everything's proportional. So speaking of proportional, let's just look at a few things here. So when you look at the lugs on both of these, you can see, and let me hold this. I mean, if you wear a Submariner, a current reference Submariner, I mean, look at that. Now on this side, obviously, because this is a Chrono, and this is the Submariner is just a, no date, nothing, just a, wind and wear, nothing to it. But you can see here, but even on this side with the pushers, the screw-down pushers and the screw-down crown, this is still not, people have blown this out of proportion. And again, until you have it in your hands, you can't make these comparisons. Until you have it in your hands, you're just reading and you're looking at numbers on paper, this, that, and the other. And speaking of numbers on paper, I will say the original Black Bay, not the ETA one, but the in-house, the original Black Bay, not the 58. I found those personally to be too tall on my wrist. The case height I felt was too significant. Again, personal preference. With the Tudor Black Bay Chrono, I don't feel that. I do feel that with the Tudor Black Bay GMT. I feel that it's too tall. That it's got, on the side over here, that I think it's got too big of a, it's got too much of a slab on the side. But again, with this Tudor Black Bay Chrono, I don't think that's the case. I mean, yeah, it is. You can see here, it is a little bit taller than the Submariner, but also keep in mind that the Submariner has a flat, look at this right here. If you've got 4K, crank it up. The Submariner has a flat sapphire crystal. And on the Tudor Chrono, because it gives it that vintage look, you've got the domed sapphire crystal. So that adds a little bit to the height. Now, as far as wearability on the wrist, I mean, both of these, they've got the oyster case backs. I will go as far as to say these feel equally comfortable for me on the wrist, and I've got a 7.5-inch wrist. The bracelets are, they're both oyster bracelets. I mean, look at that. I mean, obviously the Tudor Chrono has the faux rivets, the fake rivets, but, from a wearability perspective and just overall wrist feel, I mean, both of these feel great to me. And again, I also wear the Tudor Black Bay 58. So, and that's a 39 mil. And check out my other video. I'll link it within the YouTube cards, and you can see it. I did a comparison of the size of the Black Bay 58 and the Tudor Chrono. But, yeah, I mean, these, if you're wearing the sub I'll go as, and again, I don't have the current reference sub. This is the previous, the 114060. But if you're wearing this 40 mil sub or the current reference, which is 41 millimeter sub, I think you're going to find from a wrist feel perspective. Now, the Tudor Chrono, it's a negligibly heavier wrist piece, and I don't even want to use the word heavier because that implies negativity. If you hold both of these, or if I hold one at a time, let's say I'm going to hold this in my right hand. Okay, I finished holding it. I'm going to put it down, and now I'm going to hold this in my right hand. The Submariner is obviously a little bit lighter. I mean, there's, you know, I'd be a liar if I said it wasn't. But is this like a, oh, I can't pick it up, man? No, it feels very good. And what I like about this, it's got enough weight to it to where you feel, you know you're wearing I often associate subconsciously weight with quality. So when I've got a heftier wristwatch on my wrist, I associate it with being a better, a better made timepiece. And I know that's not necessarily accurate because some watches are made out of titanium, etc. But this does not have a significant weight feel difference than the Submariner. I mean, obviously the Submariner is a little bit lighter, but this is not, the weight of this is not significantly heavier. And I'll go as far as to say the way that this is designed, the pushers, the screw down pushers, the screw down crown, the way this fits on your wrist, it's, again, a chrono always wears differently than a two-hander. So, it's just a great, it's a great feeling piece. And I mean, and again, I'm not trying to sell anybody on either of these pieces. I mean, that's, it's personal preference. But what I am trying to do is just point out that, if you've been straying away from the Tudor Chrono because you've heard that it's too tall on the wrist, and obviously you're probably not going to find it in ADs, any authorized dealers anywhere right now because it's in such high demand. But if you're researching it, you're probably researching it because you're probably going to do like I did and buy it sight unseen. And it was a gamble. I'll admit I was nervous about it. I was afraid, am I getting a chunky monkey here? But I felt confident that if that was the case, that because of the demand, that I could probably get out of it pretty easily. So that's not the case. I mean, both of these, in my opinion, wear exceptionally great on the wrist. And, Submariner is always going to be a classic. It's a two-hander. It's got a lot of history associated with it. This, in my opinion, the Tudor Chrono, especially the reverse Panda, the inverted Panda, is going to be a future classic, going to become a future classic, in my opinion, just because it's unique. And, you got the water resistance, 660, 200 meters, 660 feet. So, I mean, that's incredible for a chronograph. And you've got something that's, it's got the aluminum bezel, so it's probably going to develop a pleasing patina. It's just a really well-executed piece. And I'll go as far as to say this, in my opinion, without a doubt, should become a future classic. Submariner's always going to be king. Submariner's always going to be the wristwatch. If somebody doesn't know anything about wristwatches, if they think, what's the best wristwatch in the world? If they don't know anything about wristwatches, they're probably going to say the Submariner. And even people that do know a lot about wristwatches, they're probably going to say the Submariner. It's a perfect timepiece, in my opinion. But again, the Tudor Chrono, this is a great pair. I mean, it really is. And, if you're looking for a chrono, if you're looking for a one and done, and you could get either, I mean, obviously it's a matter of personal preference. I would probably steer you towards the Submariner just because it's always been a classic. It'll probably remain a classic forever. But if you're wanting something just unique, you don't see it on every wrist, at least currently, this Tudor inverted Panda, this Tudor reverse Panda Chrono is an incredible option. So I hope this video helped. Again, Aaron, I really appreciate, and I hope I pronounced your name correctly. It's either Aaron or Iran, and if I mispronounced it, I apologize. But I really appreciate your question. I hope this video helped, and not just Aaron. I hope it didn't just help Aaron. I hope it helped everybody that's been watching this video, because if you've been on the fence nervous about, oh man, that Tudor Chrono is just too big, it's too tall, man. Don't be. And again, I've got a 7.5-inch wrist. I've been wearing wristwatches for over 35, 36 years, man. I mean, I'm an old dude. So, I know the wrist feel. Both of these are great choices. Tell me what you think within the comment section below, and be sure to subscribe. It's youtube.com/irixguy. And ring that bell icon when you do, and what that'll do is notify you whenever I post another video. And tune in to my Timepieces for Tomorrow live shows as well, because that's something I enjoy doing. I like the live shows. If you want to be a guest for an upcoming live show, shoot me a message, comment below, and I'll see if I can shoot you a message, and maybe we can link up and be on the live show together. So fun stuff. Check out all my videos. Again, subscribe, ring that bell icon when you do, and appreciate your viewership, and keep the questions coming. Again, this was a response to a question from Aaron, but I try to respond to as many questions as I can with a video. Y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, Captain Irix Guy here. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to subscribe. It's youtube.com/Irix Guy. And ring that bell icon when you do to be notified whenever I post another video. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.